All right, so today we're going to be looking at dictionaries in Python. So let's start it off with just a couple little things about dictionaries. So dictionaries, if I can spell, are unordered mappings for storing objects. So that's key things, they're unordered. So if you remember when we were looking at lists before, lists are ordered. You can pull specific pieces of lists. Dictionaries are different, they are not ordered. Another thing to know about dictionaries is that dictionaries do it this way. So they use a key value pair. I still have broken fingers, so typing is still tough, but we're gonna get there. So with this key value pair though, it means that we don't actually need to know where it's located within the dictionary. We just need to know what its key is. And so what that key looks like is, so you'll have something like this. You'll utilize the curly braces, which means it's a dictionary. You'll have your key, colon, and then you'll put the value that is tied to it. So value 1, for example. And let's say you had another thing within, or another item within your dictionary. You'd have, let's say, key 2, and you would put it as an integer, for example. So that's one of the key things with dictionaries you always want to keep in mind. Another thing when you're looking at dictionaries is that dictionaries are unordered. So again, they don't have, you wouldn't be able to say like, say dictionary, dictionary, and I want to pull, the whatever's in the first position. Doesn't work that way. Not like lists. So dictionaries are unordered and they cannot be sorted. Whereas lists, for example, they can be retrieved by location, and they're these ordered sequences of information that can be indexed and sliced. Cool? Makes sense? All right, so now that we've kind of gone over a little bit of the basics of dictionaries, let's actually get in and let's start playing with them. So let's create a dictionary. We'll call this new dictionary, okay? And we're going to create it. We're going to create curly braces, there we go. We're going to create the first key, so we're going to have key 1, and we're going to call it value 1. All right, and we're going to create the second, so we're going to key 2, and we're going to set it to, let's say 10. Okay, run it, and now when I pull up my new dictionary, I can see I have my key, value 1, and key 2, value 10. Cool, makes sense. And so if I were to, let's say I wanted to, pull up value 2 there, or pull up key 2. All I would do is put my dictionary, I'd use my square brackets, and I would type in key 2, and I get 10. Cool. So I guess a really good way to use dictionaries would be, let's say you had prices associated to something. So let's going to go clothing prices. And we are going to create it as a dictionary. And let's say we have hats. They're going to be $10. We're going to have shirts. They are going to be, I think I have an extra. I'm not sure I do have an extra. There we go. Oh, I was doing there. Shirts, they're going to be $15. We're going to have pants. And they're going to be $20, and yeah, it's good enough. We'll go hats, shirts, and pants. It's good enough. We'll run that. So clothing prices. Again, clothing prices. I see my dictionary. Now, let's say I, we've got a whole new shipment in, and I got to say, I got to check the price of my hats. I don't really remember what it is. So what I can do is I can go clothing prices. I know my key is hats, so I'm looking at my hats, and I see 10. So I know the price of my hats are 10. Cool. Makes sense? Let's clear this up so we have a little more room. Another really cool thing with dictionaries is that you can have multiple things within it. So you can have integers, you could have floats, you could have lists, and you could even have dictionaries within dictionaries. So let me show you how that works. So let's create a new dictionary. We're going to do K1. And we will say K1 is up to 1, 2, 3. We're going to have K2. It is going to, what did I do there? K2 is going to be a list. So 1, 2, 4, and let's toss in a string in there as well for fun. And then we're going to have, let's say, key. Keep it consistent. We'll keep it consistent. Tough word. We'll do K3, and we're going to set it to equal another dictionary. So let's call it inside the key. Inside the key. Why not? Oh, helps if I actually put that within my quotations. Perfect. And inside the key, we will set it to 100. Let's run that. Make sure there's no errors. Good. And I run D. I can see that I have K1. I have my list, and I have my dictionary that is within my dictionary. So I guess the cool thing you can do with it is I can actually pull data from my list. I can also pull data from my dictionary that is within my dictionary. So let's show you how that looks. So if I were to go D and I looked at K3 specifically, I can see I get another dictionary. Well, in that case, what I could do is I can pull K3 and I can go look back and say, well, I need to pull inside the key. And now when I run it, I get 100. So I get the key value pair that is associated to K3 as well as the key value pair that's associated to inside the key. And I get 100, which is awesome. Another thing you can do is let's clear this out. Oh. Another great thing you can do is you can actually pull the different slices off of the list themselves. So remember, if we look back here, if I look at D and I look at K2, I have my list 1, 2, 4, and C. But so I know within here, let's say I want to pull the, I don't know, what's sitting at position 3, for example. So the third index. So if I go to D, I go K2, I can then go here and I say I want to pull off on the third piece, or not third piece, but the information that's at index 3, I get C, which is awesome. Okay, let's clear this out of the way for now. That's out of the way, perfect. So we still have D there. What else can we look at? Let's look at, actually, another really cool thing you can do, just since we do have C in there, let's go D, that was K2, and I have, I think it was index 3, right? C, perfect, okay. So you can actually call different methods off of this as well. So let's say I want to do upper. So I want to make it uppercase. I can run it, and now I have an uppercase C, which is really cool. So you can kind of play with the data that's within the dictionary as well, which is really great. Let's also look at adding stuff to the dictionary. So let's say I wanted to add a new key value pair to it. So I go into D, and I say, all right, instead of K3, I'm going to call it the rock, for example. And I'm going to set the rock to equal. What do we want to set the rock to equal? Let's set the rock to equal cool guy, because the rock's a cool guy. Why wouldn't he be, right? I run D. I can see that I now have the rock as my key and the string that's attached to it, which is cool guy. Very cool. I can also reassign variables as well. So let's go back to that. So let's go back to the rock. So I have the rock. If we remember the rock, cool guy. So let's say I don't think the rock is a cool guy anymore. Equals not a cool guy. I run it. I pull up my dictionary, and now I have the rock is not a cool guy, which, I mean, it's pretty accurate. He's not a cool guy. I don't know who he thinks he is. I'm kidding, Rock. Please don't beat me up. You're way bigger and way tougher than me. Get this out of the way. Perfect. What else do we want to look at? Yes, dictionaries. So if you have these big, massive dictionaries, for example, let's say we used pricing, for example. I think what I call clothing prices. And let's say this was 1,000 items long or 100 items, whatever it is. And you can't remember how you named everything. Did you call them tank tops or did you call them shirts with no sleeves? Who knows? What you can do is you can take the name of your dictionary and you can call keys off it. So when you call keys, you get every single key that is within your dictionary. So I know I have hats, I have shirts, I have pants, all that great stuff, right? Cool. Another thing I can do is if I don't recall what the values are associated to it, I can do my clothing prices and I can call values. And I'll get the values that are associated with each one. And last but not least, I can also call items. Clothing. Oh, what am I doing here? Clothing dot items. And I get all my dictionary items. And if you look at it, they're actually set up as tuples, which is really interesting. So you can actually play with it a little more with it as well. We'll explore tuples probably later on, but yeah. So that is overall the basics of dictionaries within Python.